Alright, there we go. Hey folks, it's House. I'm coming to you solo. Mo is out probably having a life at this point. Um, I don't know how many of you know, but Milo, our buddy Milo Yiannopoulos, has come under some heat recently because of some things that he said on a live stream with the drunken peasants and some clips that have been taken out of context from other places. And he had a press conference earlier today where he apologized for these things and stepped down from Breitbart Media. Now, he's been accused of advocating pedophilia, which anybody who has listened to him knows Milo does not advocate pedophilia. Heck, he admits to being molested himself. But I just wanted to take a minute to look at the claims of the people and see if there's any sort of weight to them, or if they have actually been taken out of context and been misedited. So let's get the fair use notice up here so nobody sues us, because I don't want to be sued. Yeah, so alright, now this is the first tweet that came out from the Reagan Battalion. I'm actually on the Reagan Battalion Twitter page for this. I wanted to get it straight from them. I didn't want to get it from any other news source so they can't say that I took it out of context. I want to try to be as honest with this as possible. Also, if y'all can't hear this, let me know. I'll see what I can do about upping the volume. Mo usually handles the technical stuff on these live streams, so I'm kind of flying blind here.
The alt-right people, the people who like me. Statistical facts, Jews are on most of the banks. Jews completely dominate the media, vastly disproportionately represented in all of these professions.
Men don't give a fuck. We're talking about 1325, 1328. These things do happen perfectly consensually. Often, by the way, it's the women who suffer in these, because what normally happens in schools very often is it's an older woman with a younger boy, and the boy is the predator in that situation. The boy is like, let's see if I can fuck the gym teacher, or let's see if I can fuck the hot maths teacher, and he does. The women fall in love with these nubile young men, these athletic young boys in their prime. And end up having their lives destroyed. They end up having to move schools, move the country, whatever. The point about all this stuff is we get hung up on abuse. This is a controversial point of view I accept, but we get hung up on this this sort of child abuse stuff. And to the point where we're heavily policing even relationships between consenting adults, sort of grad students and professors at universities. This arbitrary and oppressive idea of consent, which totally destroys, the understanding that many of us have of the complexities and subtleties and complicated nature of many relationships. People are messy and complex, and actually, in a homosexual world particularly, some of those relationships between younger boys and older men, the sort of coming-of-age relationships, the relationships in which those older men help those young boys to discover who they are and give them security and safety and provide them with love and a reliable sort of a rock where they can't speak to their parents. Some of those relationships are some of the most
molestation to me. It sounds
well,
like
you know what?
It sounds like Catholic priest molestation to me.
And you know what? I'm grateful for Father Michael. I wouldn't give nearly such good head if it wasn't for him.
Seems pretty cut and dry there from what they're saying, doesn't it? But because Milo said that they edited these clips, they actually released a second one. It's up on their timeline, so we'll just scroll up a little bit. Oh, and by the way, real quick, Somehow they found it necessary to have the Secretary of State, James Mattis, say that he disagrees with Donald Trump's statement that journalists are the enemy of the American people. Okay. They have a difference of opinion. Ooh. Oh, and also that Mike Pence visited Dachau. Is Mike Pence a Holocaust denier? Is that what they're saying? It's... I don't see why this is something that we should be made aware of. For the Dachau being one of the concentration camps. So here's the quote-unquote 5-minute unedited version. So...
and to the point where we're heavily policing even relationships between consenting adults, sort of.
Notice that the part where he was talking about the anti-Semitic part, notice that's gone. They're just concentrating on pedophilia now because that worked for them.
Grad students and professors at universities.
Well, actually, Milo, I have a video on consent if you want to watch that.
Well, let's address a little more of this.
I was
Well,
after I lost my
certainly
virginity. I was
How
in
old
my
were you?
teens. I was in my teens.
14.
I was in my teens.
You said
Something
you were
like
14.
something like that.
But I do have to wonder if Milo is okay with
It's this
adults
guy.
getting their cocks.
Yeah.
Notice the jump cut right there. Another edit from the quote-unquote unedited version. Just saying.
I know.
14
Is that
year
his name?
olds.
Is
What
that
would
his
happen if a 14-year-old
Yes.
wanted to?
Yeah, look at him. Holy shit.
Is that me
That's
without
Milo.
my glasses on? Hold on. Hold on,
It
let's
does,
have the right one.
it
More
does
hair.
look like Paul. It's
does.
British Paul.
It's British Paul with
Can we
hair.
put some? Can we
Jesus
put some
Christ,
aviators
man.
on him? Can we put some aviators and a hooker in his hand? Can we see what he looks like?
Someone can do that. Audience, make that for Milo.
The whole consent thing for me is once it's not this black and white thing that people try and paint it. Are there some
No, it is.
13-year-olds out there capable of giving informed consent to have sex with an adult? Probably. But I was also a 13-year-old. I hung around with 13-year-old guys, when I was 13, and there were some of them that still thought girls were fucking icky at 13. Like, not many, but like they were just coming out of that phase. I don't know that I was ready at 13 to get fucked in the ass by a 28-year-old black drag queen, is what I'm saying.
I will admit, perfectly valid point. I don't think that I would have been ready at 13 to be fucked in the ass by a 28-year-old black drag queen. In fact, I'm much older than 30 or than 13, and I'm not ready at this point in my life to be fucked in the ass by a 30-year-old black drag queen. Just saying.
So you can't.
and
The
that's
reason these age of consent laws exist is because we have to set some kind of a barometer here. We've got to pick
And I
an
completely
age and go,
understand.
okay, look, this is the age where we can reasonably be assured you're an adult, you can give informed consent, you understand the risks
Of
and
course.
pregnancy
Of
risks
course.
and
And
all
I
that,
think-
all that
And I
bullshit.
think the law is probably about right. That's probably roughly the right age. I think it's probably about okay. But there are certainly people who are capable of giving consent at a younger age. I certainly consider myself to be one of them. People who are sexually active younger. I think it particularly happens in the gay world, by the way. And in many cases, actually, those relationships with older men. This is one of the big sticking points where they're coming at. They're really being pedantic about his wording right here. This is one of the reasons I hate the left. There's this sort of stupid, one size fits all policing of culture. This arbitrary,
Milo.
This arbitrary.
Let him talk.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This
I was just.
arbitrary. I'll be quick. This arbitrary and oppressive idea of consent, which totally destroys, the understanding that many of us have of the complexities and subtleties and complicated nature of many relationships. People are messy and complex, and actually, in a homosexual world, particularly, some of those relationships between younger boys and older men, the sort of coming-of-age relationships, the relationships in which those older men help those young boys to discover who they are and give them security and safety and provide them with love and a reliable and sort of a rock where they can't speak to their parents. Some of those relationships are
It
some
sounds like
of the
priest
most.
molestation to me. It sounds
Yeah, well,
like
you know what?
it
You know
sounds
what?
like
I'm
Catholic
grateful-
priest molestation to me.
And you know what? I'm grateful for Father Michael. I wouldn't give nearly such good head if it wasn't for him.
Oh my
look,
god!
the-
Oh my god! I can't handle
It's
it.
funny because
What is wrong with you, Ben?
Ben
Come
gave
on.
me some homework on you, Milo. He gave me a few videos to watch to brush up on my Miloisms. And one of the things that you said in one of these clips was that transgenderism is the new, frontier of rights. My wording is bad here, but it's the new frontier of social progress. And the next thing in line is going to be pedophilia. And yet here you are talking about how, look, some of these kids that get diddled by these priests, I mean, it's a good thing for them. They're getting this love. Now they are also getting
You're misunderstanding what pedophilia means. Pedophilia is not a sexual attraction to somebody 13 years old who is sexually mature. Pedophilia is attraction to children. To children who have not reached puberty. Pedophilia is attraction to people who don't have functioning sex organs yet, who have not gone through puberty, who are too young to be able to understand the way their body. That is not what we're talking about.
And Coulter.
Sure, granted.
You don't understand what pedophilia is if you think that I'm defending it, because I'm certainly
No.
not.
I'm not saying you're defending it. I'm saying you're walking the borderline.
No, that's not what you said. You said I'm defending it. And you were wrong.
Fine. I retract my statement, Milo. I retract my statement. I shan't slander you further, but you are advocating for cross-generational relationships here. Can we be honest about that?
Yeah, I don't mind admitting that, and I think particularly in the gay world and outside the Catholic Church, if that's where some of you want to go with this, I think in the gay world, some of the most important, enriching, and incredibly, life-affirming, important, shaping relationships, very often between younger boys and older men, can be hugely positive experiences for those young boys. They can even save those young boys from desolation, from
they're
suicide,
consensual.
from drug addiction.
Hold on.
All sorts of things,
I'm gonna,
provided they're consensual.
Yeah. Notice he keeps he did say provided they were consensual. Now Milo has never been one to hide the fact that he is gay, or the fact that he lost his virginity when he was 13 in a gay five-way with two drag queens. By the way, that's setting your bar really high for the rest of your sexual experience, Milo. I just got to say that. But he's also never hid the fact that he was a victim of molestation himself. In fact, in his press conference, which I've got a link in the description to this live stream if you want to watch the full press conference, he says that he was molested by two men, one was when he was 13, so that's why the age 13 keeps coming up. But I do want to play the clip from the Rubin report where he's talking about the Jews and how they control everything, because that is clearly heavily edited. So let's take a look at that real quick. Give me just a second here. Like I said, Mo normally handles all this, so I'm kind of flying blind. And get everything set up here again. I do find it amusing that he cannot edit the podcast, but I cannot do a live stream. Oh well. I guess it's that interdependence thing that means that we both need each other. There we go. Alright, so here we go.
Most of the generation Trump, the alt-right people, the people who like me, they're not anti-Semites. They don't care about Jews. They may have some assumptions about Jews. They may have some prejudice about Jews, like the Jews run everything. Well, we do. The Jews run all the banks. Well, we do. The Jews run the media. Well, we do. You know, I mean, they're right about all that stuff.
Yeah, so it seems to me that they edited out all of the well we do's from his comments. So clearly these people are just going after him. Now, I could not find the exact part of that episode of The Drunken Peasants to do this because, frankly, this is a off-the-cuff thing that I just decided to do at the last minute. I was going to wait for Mo, but I decided screw it because I don't know when he's going to be in, and I wanted to get this off my chest before it turned into that piece of cancer that they're going to have to cut out of my colon in 30 years. But I recommend that you watch his press conference. I recommend that you go to his YouTube or to his Facebook page and read all of the statements that he has made about this before you make any judgments on this, because this really has been taken out of context. And it is interesting that all of this came out right after CPAP announced that they were going to let him speak there. So apparently when the flamboyantly gay man decides that he's going to speak at a major political conference, that's just stepping over a line. Especially after, I believe it was CPAP had an issue with the log cabin Republicans, or the log cabin Republicans, the gay Republicans. They would not let them speak, and they actually had their own. They actually had their own gay conference for a while. I believe it was called Geo Pride for a while. So yeah, I really encourage you to do your homework on this, because the mainstream media, and I really hate the fact that we've gotten to this point, but the mainstream media is skewing this one way, and it's just not being honest. So do what you got to do to find the truth, people. Don't trust me. Don't trust me and Mo. Do your homework. Anything we say, and if we're wrong, please show us that we're wrong, and we will make a retraction. We will say that we are wrong, because at the end of the day, we're just trying to get the truth out there, and that's all we're doing. And it's sad that a couple of shit talkers on the internet are the ones that have to do this. But anyway, like I said, that was just what I wanted to do. It's just 20 minutes of your life that you're not going to get back, but I appreciate you spending it with me. And while thanks, James. I've never trusted you either, so we're even, buddy. But it's just something that it's like the main. It's like media in general is so willing to go after Trump or anyone in power who does not share their bias, that it doesn't matter what they have to say or what they have to do to make them look bad, to get them out of power. Well, Hitler was a good guy, trust me. Yeah, well, he did ban smoking. Just saying. But, the liberals I've actually seen liberals on Twitter defend Hitler to bash Trump. At least Hitler served in the army and was wounded. I mean, You do realize he killed 6 million people, right? Maybe not personally, but it was his orders that killed 6 million people. Not to mention soldiers, the German soldiers or other things. It's just... Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. Please like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about us. If you want, tell your enemies about us. I don't care. But it would really make Mo happy if you would get iTunes so you could give us a 5-star rating, because that way he would shut the hell up about it. And have a good rest of the day, guys. Later.